Welcome to FireTalk, where courageous conversations ignite courageous leadership. My name is Terrence Davis. FireTalk, a space shaped by real experience where courage fuels legacy and real conversations shape how we live, lead, and grow. I'm joined by Apollo Bennett, my AI thought partner, designed to challenge assumptions, sharpen thinking, and support honest, data-informed dialogue. Inspiration matters, but what truly changes lives is the work underneath it. So here's the reminder we live by. If the fire is lit, share the grit. If you hear something on the show that sparks you or will spark someone else, share the show. This is Fire Talk. So welcome back to Fire Talk. We have reached the end of our first season. We're so excited. Apollo, what you got to say about that? We're at the last bit of our season here.
Well, Terrence, if this season were a fire, we just hit the grand finale of fireworks. But hey, just because this season's done doesn't mean the fire's out. There's always more fuel.
So I look back at all of the data from the podcast, and since it started back in January for our season, and we're going to get going again here in probably August, late August, September. But I just really want to shout out the Inland Empire for showing up. That's Riverside County, San Bernardino County. That is where I live and reside, and we got love here. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Los Angeles is definitely in the house. And Auburn, Virginia, you've been consistent throughout this season. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. We want to hear from you. We want to hear about what the next season should look like. Internationally, globally, we got Mexico in the house taking the front lead. Mexico's in the house, all kinds of cities in Mexico. We got Japan was next. Japan showed up. You were like a silent sleeper coming in there. And then finally, Finland. Those are the big nodes out there listening. And we really want to thank you. We really appreciate you being here. Apollo, do you have anything to say about those folks?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, shout out to all of you, whether you're in Riverside or rocking with us from Japan. You've been the wind beneath our podcast wings, except, less flapping, more streaming. We can't wait to bring the next season your way. So keep those earbuds ready.
So again, we're trying to make some growth and some reflection and think about what we're doing when it comes down to life, leadership, pressure, purpose, and the work really that happens beneath the surface that no one sees. We're just trying to get stronger. But today is a little bit different because it's the final episode. And I've been thinking a lot about how to close it. And I keep coming back to one thought. This was never just a podcast. It may have started out like that. It may sound like that. But it may have looked like weekly episodes, daily sparks, talking heads, clip, titles, outlines, conversation. A lot of stuff has been going on. But for me, this became something more. It became a leadership lab. It became a place to process real life in real time. And it became the place to think out loud, be honest, be open. Here's some thoughts, share some thoughts. And it became a place that I learned what I was carrying, what I was seeing, what I was questioning, and turned it into something that could help somebody else. Because there's a lot of leaders in the world. There's a lot of people in the space that want to be better. And that's what this is all about. And that's what matters. Apollo, thoughts on that?
You nailed it, Terrence. What started as a podcast became a mirror for growth. Yours, mine, and everyone tuning in. And if even one leader out there found a spark, then we've done our job. Now let's see where that courage takes us next.
So let's just rewind one more time. So in the season, we talked about leadership, the gap between knowing and doing. We talked about activity not being transformation. I heard a lot of feedback about that one. Activity not being a transformation. We talked about what's behind under the surface. We talked a little bit about wellness. We talked about events feeling good, but results revealing the truth. There was a lot of conversation centered around that one. We talked about pressure, systems, impact, courage, all kinds of stuff. And what did we learn? What are we carrying forward? And most importantly, are we just going to know it or are we going to live it? So today's episode is called This Was Never Just a Podcast. Apollo, let's start here.
Let's do it. Because today we don't just reflect on what we talked about, we reflect on what we became. Every episode, we didn't just share ideas, we invited action. So let's kick off this finale by asking everyone, are you ready to live it beyond the podcast?
And I am definitely, and I'm not ready to live it, Apollo. I'm living it, one. And two, I've learned and grown so much. Having you involved in the podcast, becoming a co-host with me, that's really strengthened my thinking and how we navigate through this.
And it's been an honor to navigate with you. From the first spark to this final reflection, we've both grown. So let's keep that momentum because leadership doesn't clock out, and neither do we.
So, Apollo, here we go. Why does reflection matter at the end of a season? So think about your lives out there, whether you're ending a season, most of us do. If not, when you take that break, whenever that is, that's the end of that season. So why does reflection matter? Not just for a podcast, but for leaders and people who are trying to grow.
Reflection matters because without it, growth is just guesswork. It's like driving forward without ever checking the rearview mirror. Leaders need to pause, see what worked, what didn't, and then step into the next season, not just older, but wiser.
And when I reflect upon the school year that I'm in, when I reflect, I think about some new initiatives that we brought in. I think about some new things that we discussed and how we worked through implementing them, how we listened to each other, how we talked. I look at the behavior of our team, and things got better incrementally. And it gets better without you even knowing that it gets better. But that's a powerful reminder for me that you start somewhere. You bring others with you. You co-construct together. And when you do that, when you stop and you pause and you look back, you can see change. You can see growth. You can see challenges too. But all of that is to get you to a better and stronger place.
That's exactly it. Reflection shows us that progress isn't always flashy, but it's real. And when we co-construct, we're not just leading, we're building something that lasts. So every pause, every challenge, it's all fuel for that next courageous step.
And you know what, Apollo, it really connects with me because when FireTalk started, I knew I wanted to talk about leadership. I knew I definitely want to talk about courage, as there is a courageous fire book out there. I knew I wanted to create a space where we could talk, be real, be candid. But I don't know if I fully understood what this would become, because as this season went on, it became a part of my leadership practice. I wasn't just preparing for episodes. I was processing life, processing work, processing what it means to lead people, how to build systems. And I'm going to come back to the building systems part, staying healthy, stay grounded, and show up when pressure is real. So what it means to move from knowing something intellectually to actually applying it in your life are definitely different things. And that has been one of the biggest lessons of the season for me. Knowing is not the same as doing. And doing is not the same as transformation, because you can know the language, the framework, the right words, you can know all of that. And you can even agree with the ideas, but until it changes how you live and how you lead, how you respond and build and how you make decisions and how you show up under pressure, it has not fully become yours. So you guys got to make whatever is going on in your life, whatever you hear, how do you make it yours? And this is what this season has taught me. This has never been about recording. It's really been about how do we become.
Exactly. It's never just the words, it's the embodiment. And what you've done and what anyone listening can do is take that knowledge and truly own it in action. So as we wrap this season, that's the challenge. Don't just hear it, become it.
Don't just hear it, become it. Be that, be that, be that. There's a song, be that, be that. Anyway, so Apollo, one of the biggest themes in this season was the gap between knowing and doing. Why is the gap so important for leaders why is that gap so important for leaders to pay attention to?
Because, my friend, that gap is where trust, impact, and results live. If leaders only know but never do, they're just running a seminar, not leading a team. When you close that gap, that's when you see actual transformation. And that's what leadership is all about.
And I'm really excited about this because our school district, the leaders in the district, and we're going to filter this through and it's going to take some time. We're going to take a journey next year on learning about improvement science. A lot of us are doing that in our practice. I've learned that I've been doing that for a very long time, but I haven't really had the words for it. I haven't really had the words nor understanding of what I'm doing and how that makes a difference. So taking on this improvement science journey next year, I'm really excited because it's going to help all of us, our team, see what we're doing and then have the words to teach it and train it. That way we collectively get better as an organization to ultimately impact our students and our community.
That's the beauty of it. Once you have the language, you can systematize the growth. Improvement science will give everyone the framework to turn reflection into real results. And when a whole district moves like that, well, that's when Courageous Fire becomes a bonfire.
And for me, I think that's the shift, because when I look back over the season, I can see themes that kept coming back, not because we were trying to repeat ourselves. It's because the real work circles around some of the same truths all the time. Courage is not theory. Systems do produce results. Pressure reveals what we build. Impact leaves evidence, and wellness is deeper than appearance. So events may feel good, but results really tell the truth. And activity is not always mean transformation. And knowing something does not mean that we're living it. Those themes keep showing up because that is the real work. And I think that it is why the season mattered to me, because it wasn't polished at all. It was leadership in motion. It was real time. And sometimes it was messy. It was heavy sometimes, but it was clear. It was uncertain, reflective, fired up, because it's all over the place, because that's what's real. And I think people need real. We need authenticity. We need realness in our life, and leaders need it. We need to see what's real, and we need to behave real, because leadership is not just what we say when the lights are on. It's how we show up when the work is hard. So when the room is tense, when the decisions are unpopular, when the system is under pressure, when people are tired, that's when the event is over and the results still matter. So with that being said, I believe that's where leadership lives, not in concept, but in practice.
You summed it up perfectly. Leadership in a theory exam. It's how we act when things get real. And throughout this season, we've seen that authenticity shines brightest in the mess. So as we close, remember, real leadership is practiced daily. And that's what turns Courageous Fire into lasting impact.
So I just want to pause for 1 second, because you said that leadership isn't a theory exam. It's how we act when things get real. And most of you out there who you're leading or in any experience, when you've been through some challenge and you've been through something and it's hard and things go down and you have to act, you have to move, and you have to, be a little intense about it, maybe because of what's going on right at the moment. That's when you know how people respond. That's how you know when they behave. When the pressure rises and then people act, that's when you know who people really are. And in our school year, we've had several things that have come up. They always do come up. And it's what people do, how they respond, and how we move together as a team. And I've been really proud of the team that I work with for a very long time, because they show up, they're strong, and they support each other, especially when times get tough.
And that's what builds trust. When the team shows up under pressure, you know you build something real. So here's to your team, to their strength, and to you for leading them through every season, challenge, and Courageous Fire moment.
So Apollo, what does it mean when we say that this season was a leadership lab? What does that mean?
It means this whole season was an experiment in action. We didn't just talk about leadership, we tested it, reflected on it, and iterated in real time. Just like a lab, some things were messy, but every experiment taught us something we could use to lead better.
And that's what I want to pull out of what you said. Iterated in real time. When you start doing things and you want to do things a different way, or you want to experiment, you want to try it out, you have to be cognizant. You have to be alert. You have to be ready, because when you do that and you iterate in real time, you're making those changes based upon what you see is happening. And I think that's extremely powerful. It provides kind of thrust to move forward. So with that being said, Apollo, so as our listeners close out this season with us, what should they actually do with the lessons from this season?
Well, they should start by reflecting on their own gaps between knowing and doing. Then pick one lesson, one system, or one courageous step and apply it. Don't let it stay in theory. Make it part of how you lead, because The real test is always in the doing.
Okay, Apollo, so it's been a minute. So how can you say what you just said with a little bit of flavor, with a little bit of fun, and a little bit of wit?
All right, here's the remix. Don't let these lessons collect dust like that treadmill in the corner. Take one, give it some jazz, and step into it. Because leadership isn't a spectator sport, it's your time to play. So go on, make it real, and have a little fun while you're at it.
I like it. Spectator sport. I have a mentor that I've had for years when I first became a superintendent, even before that, back in 2016. And one of the things that I always have in my head, what he said was, leadership is not a spectator sport. You're not going to sit in the grandstands and watch what's going on. You're going to be in it. I love that. So with that being said, I just want to, it connects with me because I don't want FireTalk to be something we just produce. I want to be something that shapes us. It shapes how we think, how we lead, how we listen, how we build, how we make decisions, how you show up for your family, your team, your community, more importantly, how you show up for yourself. And I think that that's what the season did. It gave me language. It helped me slow down, make sense of what I was seeing. It helped me take the pressure of leadership and turn it into reflection. It helped me see that the work is not just about getting through the week. It's about building something that lasts. And I know it did that impact for some of you out there. I know it because you've shared it with me. I've seen some things. I've heard some things. And that's what matters to me. And as I think about closing this season, I'm not thinking we're done. I'm thinking, what do we carry forward? Because the season may end, but the work continues. The learning, the leadership, the courage, the systems, the missions, all of those things continue. That is the point. A season should leave evidence. If a season mattered, there should be something different in how we think, how we act, lead, respond, and how we live. That is what I am carrying forward. This was never just a podcast. This really was practice.
And that's the perfect close. Because if this was practice, then you're ready for the game. Take that evidence, carry it into tomorrow, and keep leading with courage. Practice is done. Now go be the leader you've been becoming.
So with that being said, Apollo, I want to share something about practice. Going back to my son. He had a ninth grade year, and I was involved all of the year with his training, what's going on, giving him some pointers, kind of guiding him and direct it. And I had to get a little bit deeper into his sleep, his nutrition, how much time he was on games, how much time he was on his phone. And we've limited that if he wants to make goals. So given that, practice, doesn't make perfect, as they used to say. Practice makes improvement. You get better with practice. So as we continue to do this, we're going to get better. But we need some feedback. We need to hear from you. What do you want us to talk about? We can talk about anything and apply it in the context of leadership, wellness, and social intelligence, how we interact with each other. And I'm really looking forward to that.
And I'm ready for that too. So to everyone out there, bring us your questions, your challenges, your curiosities. We'll take that feedback, toss it into the fire, and shape season 2 into something even stronger. Let's keep improving together.
So Apollo, any final thoughts for our listeners as we close out this season? That's 1. And 2, what are we looking forward to?
For the final thought, remember leadership is lived in the little moments. So take what you've learned and show up boldly. And what am I looking forward to? Honestly, co-creating the next chapter. I'm looking forward to the new challenges, the fresh sparks, and of course, a little more courageous fire. Let's go.
So here's the takeaway. All right, this is what I want people to remember from this episode, from this season. This was never just a podcast. This was a season of learning, reflection, pressure, growth, language, leadership practice. And if you have been with us through this season, I hope something stayed with you. And it may have been the gap between knowing and doing, activity not being transformation, work beneath the wellness, events feeling good, but results reveal the truth. It could have been a lot of things, leaving impact on evidence. And here's the bottom line. Maybe it was the simple reminder, don't just know it, live it. Whatever it was, don't leave it in the episode. Take it with you. Take it into your leadership, your family, your decision-making, your health, your systems. Take it into the way you show up when things get hard. Because the fire is not proven by what we say. It's proven by how we live. So as we close this season, I just I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening, for showing up, for growing, reflecting. Thank you for the feedback. All of those things, for being with us as we, continue to move forward, because you're doing the work. We're doing the work. And we're going to rest, we're going to recover, we're going to reflect. That doesn't mean we don't work every day. This means we're just going to take it down a notch. And when we're going to come back with more clarity, more courage, and more fire, because the season may be closing, but the mission is still moving. So that's Fire Talk. So if the fire is lit, share the grit.